Emiliano Di Cavalcanti, a Brazilian modernist pioneer. Emiliano Augusto Cavalcanti de Albuquerque Melo, commonly known as Emiliano Di Cavalcanti, was one of Brazil's most influential and renowned modernist painters. Born on September 6, 1897, in Rio de Janeiro, Cavalcanti became a central figure in Brazil's Modern Art Week, Semana de Arte Moderna, in 1922, a movement that radically changed the course of Brazilian art by breaking away from traditional academicism and embracing modernist principles. Early life and education. Cavalcanti's early life was marked by intellectual influences and an early exposure to the arts. He grew up in a middle-class family and was introduced to Brazilian literature and politics by his uncle, José do Patrocínio, a prominent journalist and abolitionist. This upbringing had a profound effect on his intellectual and artistic development, embedding in him a sense of social justice and an appreciation for Brazilian culture. At the age of 17, Cavalcanti enrolled at the Faculty of Law in São Paulo. Although he did not complete his legal studies, his time in São Paulo introduced him to influential figures in Brazil's art and literary circles, such as Mário de Andrade and Oswald de Andrade, with whom he shared revolutionary ideas about the role of culture and art in society. Cavalcanti's early works were heavily influenced by the European art he admired, such as Impressionism, Post-Impressionism, and Cubism, which he encountered through his studies of foreign artists. Modern Art Week and the birth of Brazilian modernism. In 1922, Cavalcanti played a key role in organizing the Modern Art Week, Semana de Arte Moderna, a landmark event held in São Paulo that would mark the official beginning of the Brazilian modernist movement. This movement sought to break away from the constraints of academic art and embrace new, avant-garde techniques that reflected the cultural, political, and social realities of Brazil. The event featured painters, sculptors, writers, and musicians who would go on to redefine Brazilian culture. Cavalcanti's contributions to the Modern Art Week and Brazilian modernism were unique. Unlike many of his contemporaries who focused on abstraction, Cavalcanti's works remained rooted in figuration, with a deep focus on the human experience. He was particularly drawn to the vibrancy of urban life and the richness of Brazil's popular culture, including samba, carnival, and the lives of the working class. Themes and style. Cavalcanti's style evolved as he matured as an artist, but his work consistently reflected his deep engagement with Brazilian life and culture. He had a strong preference for depicting the everyday lives of ordinary Brazilians, especially the marginalized and the poor. This focus on social themes reflected his leftist political beliefs and commitment to social justice, which were informed by his involvement in the Brazilian Communist Party during the 1930s and 1940s. His paintings often depict scenes of samba dancers, favelas, carnival parades, and Afro-Brazilian women. He was deeply interested in the body, and many of his works explore themes of sensuality, often portraying voluptuous women in warm, earthy tones. His figures are typically solid, rounded, and depicted in a way that emphasizes their physicality, which became a signature feature of his style. Influenced by European modernism, Cavalcanti combined the techniques of post-impressionism and cubism with a uniquely Brazilian sensibility. He was influenced by artists such as Henri Matisse and Diego Rivera, yet his work retained a distinct focus on Brazilian color palettes, themes, and landscapes. His paintings often featured vibrant colors that reflected the tropical beauty of Brazil. International influence and recognition. Cavalcanti's fame spread internationally as he spent time abroad and exhibited his work in various parts of the world. In the mid-1920s, he traveled to Paris, where he became immersed in the city's dynamic art scene, meeting figures such as Pablo Picasso and Georges Braque. His time in Europe further exposed him to the latest artistic movements and deepened his interest in synthesizing modernist techniques with Brazilian themes. Throughout his life, Cavalcanti exhibited his work internationally, gaining recognition in countries such as France, Italy, and the United States. He participated in prestigious events such as the Venice Biennale, cementing his status as one of Brazil's leading modernist artists. Legacy and later life. Cavalcanti's later work continued to focus on themes of Brazilian life and identity, but his style became more mature and refined. He remained a deeply political artist, and his work reflected his growing disillusionment with the social inequalities he witnessed. In addition to painting, he also worked as an illustrator and was a frequent contributor to left-wing newspapers and magazines, providing illustrations that often satirized the Brazilian elite and political situation. He passed away on October 26, 1976, in Rio de Janeiro, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most important figures in Brazilian modernist art. His work continues to be celebrated for its rich portrayal of Brazilian culture and its unique synthesis of modernist techniques and national identity. Conclusion. Emiliano Di Cavalcanti was not just a painter. He was a cultural pioneer who helped shape the direction of Brazilian modern art. His ability to blend European modernist techniques with distinctly Brazilian themes made him a crucial figure in the cultural history of his country. Through his works, Cavalcanti gave a voice to the people and culture of Brazil, championing social justice, national identity, and artistic innovation. His legacy endures as a testament to the power of art to reflect and challenge society.